Hey everybody, Frankie Slauson here with another great Frankie Slauson Show interview exclusive interview. Today's guest is my 29th guest of this past season since I started doing interviews again like I used to do on the radio. This guy, if you're not familiar with his work, I would say you should be ashamed of yourself because he's on YouTube just like I am. Except he goes like almost worldwide, we'll say, even though it's more through U.S. and Canada. He does videos of a lot of movie locations, and he also has a daily channel called the Daily Woo. Who am I talking about? None other than Adam the Woo. How's it going, man?
Hello there. How's it going, man?
It's going good. How the heck are you?
Thank you for calling me an exclusive guest. I feel honored to be the 29th guest on your show, man.
Well,
awesome.
I feel honored just to have you because I feel you're one of the big names on YouTube, more or less.
What about the 28 other guests? Are they non-exclusive, or am I just? How does that all work? Or?
I try to treat everybody special, you know.
What is the criteria for that?
I don't know. I just wanted to give you a good introduction to make you feel at home.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on your show. I'm letting you know now that I'm walking down a beachfront on a lake, and there is a huge jet flying above me, and it's dark out. It's actually quite the scene. I'm trying to get the ambiance right for this interview and get in the mood tonight. I think I'm successful so far.
Oh, well, hey, I hope it continues to be successful, but, hey, if anything interrupts us, that's, it's okay. we'll still keep the interview going. So,
there's a big hole here in the ground that I've discovered. I don't know if someone's trying to dig a body in there, but it's very, very awkward. I'm staring deep inside. Anyway, I'll let you continue on. I'm trying to change the subject.
Hey, that's fine. Hey, I tell you what, I'm like I was saying, I'm very honored just to have you on, and you are one of the big names on YouTube because you've done. I don't know where you get the funding to do this, but you get to travel not just in Florida, where you live, but like all over the United States to these various locations to do like
right.
to do like old movie locations for like Beetlejuice or like Doc Hollywood or all over. And it's just amazing how where do you get inspired to start doing that?
Well, I've always kind of been a fan of 80s movies. 70s and 80s films, I've always been kind of a huge movie nerd. So that kind of got me thinking. And I used to go and take photographs of these places I used to go. And then one day I just said I should start doing the videos. So about probably 2.5 years ago, I think I did my first movie location. And that was in Tampa, Florida. I did Edward Scissorhands filming locations, and I kind of just stemmed it, and from there I think I've done, 30 or 35 since I'm like all over the class.
Jeez.
So it's definitely a lot of fun. It takes a lot of research, that's for sure. You got to do a lot of online research. You got to do a lot of randomly driving around towns. Did you hear that jet flying over me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, there you go. See the ambiance of the interview.
Yeah, I can hear it a little bit.
Yeah.
As it's flying above you or whatever.
I'm trying not to get distracted and keeping it at the subject at hand. That thing is awfully close.
Jeez.
I'm actually in St. Cloud, Florida, the airport. It's just a stone's throw from here to the Orlando International Airport.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to get plenty of bypass traffic.
Yeah, well, that happens, I'm sure. I'm sure over there the weather is a lot nicer than it is over here in northern Minnesota, anyway.
Yeah, I don't know what the temperature is now. I have a big, heavy jacket on. I'm actually regretting having it on because I don't need it. And I'm probably at the coldest point of this town because I'm actually on the lake. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't need it, but I might actually disrobe and take it off. Maybe I'll put this jacket back in that hole I mentioned a minute ago and bury it.
There you go.
Come back later.
No, it's kind of cool because over here in Minnesota, anyway, we've been experiencing a lot of below zero temperatures. I mean, it's been like 30 below and everything. So, wow.
Let me ask you a question. What would you even do outside of the house? Kind of temperatures? Can you even go outside and function?
Not necessarily. Most of the time, unless you're really brave and you really want to walk in that type of weather, most of the time, a lot of people around here just drive when it's cold outside. Even if it's like short distances, they just start the vehicle up and waste the gas and drive around town.
Right.
And that's pretty much how it goes over here.
Imagine.
I mean, I don't live, I told you before the interview, I don't live in a big city. I live in a small town. I'm sure St. Cloud, Florida is a bigger city than Greenbush, Minnesota. by far.
Absolutely. You were saying that I think it was under 1,000, 500 people in your town?
About 500 or less.
Yeah, it's definitely bigger here than there. So you pretty much know every person in your town by name, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, I mean, here and there. I mean, there have been some changes over the last few years. I'm only 29 years old, but I pretty much kind of grew up around this area. So, yeah, I mean, you get to know people pretty close anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, and you know, I don't know, were you able to check out my channel at all, so you know how legit I am?
I did. I actually watched a couple of your interviews today and yesterday, and I saw when you posted up and you said it was the 5th. I'm guessing maybe you haven't posted the other one since then, or maybe I missed the other 4 leading up to this one, which is the 29th.
Yeah, the other ones are going to be posted in the month of February.
That's excellent.
So
I actually listened to the one we had with Henry from E.T.
Oh, yeah.
And I listened to that one. I actually did a movie location that he was in. I did Cloak and Dagger.
Okay, yep. I remember that.
Definitely, I have the E.T. Henry Thomas connection.
Wow.
And I actually emailed him on Facebook as well, based on your video. He's like a pretty nice guy, so I emailed him on Facebook and sent him over the video. So hopefully he watches that.
Yeah.
And get his opinion on.
Oh, that's cool. You know, I was just kind of curious because I always, you know, a lot of people, you know, like to question, you know, how, you know, because I'm not like, you know, in a studio or anything. I'm just doing this from my house or whatever, and my parents' house. I'm just recording it. I'm not like a big celebrity myself, or, you know, like a radio announcer. I used to be, but I'm not like Howard Stern or something like this. So
sure.
it's just that I've always loved to do interviews with people because of the experience I had when I was on the radio, and I interviewed a lot of different people, like how you go and go on tour locations to all these movie locations and stuff. It's just kind of cool to be able to talk to the person about their story, about their time when they were famous, or if they're still famous, or where are they now, more or less. And that's kind of how I do it.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. I think in this day and age, it's actually kind of helpful. Like a lot of celebrities, or, you know, past celebrities, they realize the value of the internet, and they realize how many people are kind of doing it themselves.
Yeah.
So for them to, like, not do an interview or something like that is almost foolish if they want to keep themselves out in the public eye, because you never know what's going to pop up or what's going to go viral or any of that.
Yeah, I get a little frustrated when a lot of these people who are like celebrities, like big, rich, and famous celebrities, hide themselves from the public eye after they became famous, and they don't want nothing to do with anybody, whether it's their fans or whatever, afterwards, after they're hiding. And it's just like,
sure.
It's like, why?
Yeah, you never really know the whole story behind that. I guess they have their reasons, but I can definitely think of a few people that you're probably talking about top of my head. I can think of some examples, too, that naturally won't mention, but it is how they just kind of go off into a deep corridor there and hide.
Yeah, but myself too. I mean, I consider myself a total '80s kid. You know, I mean, I was born in 1983. You know, and recently I watched a movie called My Bodyguard. I don't know if you ever heard that before or not.
My Bodyguard. I have heard of that. Yes.
And the reason why I like it is it kind of inspired me because it's like back in those days, the hairstyles were different. The vehicles people drove were different. Life was just completely different back in those days, and I wish we could kind of live some of those days right now, you know, 30 years later.
Right. Yeah, there's something about 80s films that just definitely resonates with me as well, so I get where you're coming from, for sure. There's a lot of people that will email me, and they'll tell me to go do a certain movie location, and it's something that's been done in the last 5 or 10 years, and I just can't get into it. I have no passion to do it, just because I've either seen the movie once, or I wasn't interested in it, or just with the 80s stuff I've seen hundreds of times. I kind of have it etched in my head and memorized.
And a lot of that stuff is art anyway, you know, the stuff from 30 years ago. I mean, because it's like, you know, those are classics, you know, E.T., Back to the Future, The Goonies, and then recently, and I don't know if you saw the video, I sent you the link to the documentary or the movie that I made with my buddy when we went to Astoria, Oregon last year.
Yep.
And I don't know if you saw the whole thing or not. It's a long video. It's like 4 hours long, but I was very inspired because not just from your stuff, but just from other YouTubers as well, to go and do a film location video, and it was a lot of fun. And I can imagine how much fun you have in your journeys.
Oh yeah, it's definitely fun. I mean, if it wasn't fun, I definitely wouldn't be doing it. And it's cool that you say that because there definitely are one or two other guys that have kind of started doing their own thing, and there's, you know, a couple guys that I saw and tried to emulate. you kind of got like a little circle of guys that go around doing filming locations. It's a pretty neat little community on YouTube, and cool that people enjoy watching it.
Yeah, and you got a pretty good sized fan base for what you've done so far.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. I'm pretty happy with the progression of it for sure. Started off kind of slow, but it seems like people, one good thing about YouTube is you put it on there and you forget about it. And then, 6-8 months ago, somebody sees it and they repost it, and it just kind of steamrolls and everybody starts watching it.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I mean, myself, I'm definitely not the level where you are at, but I think I should be in a way, because I've done over 500 videos on YouTube. I've done all types of videos that you could think of, whether it just be around the town videos or DVD videos or movie location videos or interviews, and yet I only have 1,600 subscribers.
Right. It's funny you mentioned the 1,000 thing. Now, I remember when I was starting off, and I only had like maybe 100 subscribers, and it kind of trickled in until it got to 1,000. I think once you hit 1,000, it kind of starts to pick up a little bit.
Yeah. I've
kind of noticed that once you break the 1,000 barrier, it kind of starts to kind of peak just a little bit more and start to move on moving.
Yeah.
So if people keep latching onto your stuff, and the more videos you have, the more it's going to spread out over YouTube. People are going to find you randomly and enjoy what you do or don't enjoy it, and just go from there.
Yeah, and that's just the thing too. I mean, because I'm definitely proud of the things that I've been able to do. I think these interviews alone, to me, are the coolest things that I've been able to do. But the only thing is, they're audio interviews, they're not video interviews. Most of them are. So, but it's cool. It's fun anyway. Well,
I mean, I looked through some of your videos now. A lot of your videos are getting a lot of hits. So, I mean, definitely people that are interested. The fact that somebody will sit at their computer and watch, 30 minutes of a picture of somebody talking, it means there's people out there that are interested in what people are saying. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, and the fact too that all these people are legit. Because a couple people once told me, like, when you do an interview with somebody, you want to make sure you do your darndest to make sure that these people are who they say they are, so they're not like pretending to be somebody who they're not. And I've never really thought about that. I just always just go to the sense of I believe I am talking to who they say they are. So.
Right.
Like with you, obviously, I can tell I'm talking to you because I'm familiar with your voice, familiar with with your work and everything. So obviously, this is Adam the Woo I'm talking to.
I would guess you just got to go with your gut instinct on that. I mean, I guess if you were to go on Twitter and hit Tom Cruise up, and he immediately emailed you back with no hesitance, and then was really wishy-washy on what he's saying, you might get the vibe. Maybe this isn't Tom Cruise, but when you're dealing with a lower level than that, it's probably not. I don't think anybody's out there trying to put a conspiracy in there and trying to pretend there's someone they're not. So what do I know? People are weird.
Yeah. So speaking of weird, how and I try not to get too offended by this, but where do you Adam the Woo from, or the Adam the Woo name besides your name being Adam?
Adam the Woo. It's a very unusual story, and it's probably the most asked question anybody ever asked as far as comments and emails and stuff. Basically, years ago, you ever been to Walmart in the area where they have the stationery? They have a little stamp pad. They used to. You would buy the stamp and you get tweezers, and there were these little rubber letters, and you could rearrange them to make a return address form back in the snail mail day. People actually wrote letters to people instead of using the emails, the internet. You could buy the stamp pad set, and you could create your own name. So back then, I didn't have a vehicle. I didn't have a car. This was probably 20 years ago. I was sitting at the bus stop, and I ended up making a bunch of different weird nicknames for myself, and I came up with Adam the Woo, and I just started using that as my return address.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of stuff, and then, of course, the social medias began. Your MySpace started eBay, the kind of stuff I used to sell stuff on eBay, which I haven't sold anything in years. I think the account's still valid, but
yeah.
So I got all these different social networks, Adam the Woo. So then when YouTube started, I just kind of went with that. That was kind of the route I chose, and stuck with it.
So, but is your real name Adam?
Yeah, my real name is Adam.
Okay.
My middle name is The, and my last name is Woo.
You're like the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. Woo.
It's almost like any kind of name. It really has. Most people's stories are really nowhere near as exciting as people think they're going to be.
Yeah.
People are always expecting some really awesome story to come out of their house, but it just basically is me sitting at a Link bus stop making a stamp pad because I was bored. That's pretty much it, and that was it. Now it's ingrained in people's heads, and a website and the whole kit and caboodle.
Oh wow! Oh, that's a pretty.
I don't know if anyone's actually ever used that terminology in the last 20 years, kit and caboodle, but I'm trying to bring it back.
Hey, why not bring some nostalgia back? You know.
I'm now walking near I'm now past the lakefront, and I'm walking near a retention pond that smells really bad, and there's a huge lit up fountain in the middle of it. So I'm walking past the fountain. I'm just trying to share that with all the viewers and listeners, so they get the ambiance of what's going on. So I'm all about the ambiance.
Can't they think that we're having coffee together and then talking like in a coffee house?
I could be having coffee. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. So all the tour location videos that you've done, what can you say is like the one that you just love the most?
Oh, man, that's a tough question. I think all of them they're kind of like children, you know. It's like, which one's your favorite?
Yeah.
You just they all they took their own special endeavors to accomplish and to film and to edit, and it's really hard to say what's my favorite.
Okay. But I mean,
that's a tough question.
But yeah, but I mean, it's you know, I don't know. All the ones that you've done, I think I told you on Facebook, but I really like the Beetlejuice one. I really like the Daryl one because those are two that movies I've always loved as a kid growing up.
Daryl was awesome.
And then the Doc Hollywood.
Like you mentioned the Daryl. Like, that took a lot of work, I mean, because there really wasn't a lot of information. Like, when you go on Google, you try to search filming locations for Daryl, nothing pops up.
Yeah.
So I pretty much had to do all kind of, behind-the-scenes work, asking around, driving around, until I found all the spots. That took actually a lot of effort. But that movie, like, as popular it is with you and I, not like an E.T. or Back to the Future or the Goonies. Like, very few people from that era even kind of remember it. So it's got that cult following. So it wasn't really a video that, like, blew up, like, real big. So it's like you get all this work into a video to really do so well as far as numbers goes.
Yeah.
You just never really know what's going to resonate with people.
Huh. But it was still cool. It's still enjoyable anyway.
Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that, you don't find anybody else doing. Like there's a video that I made that I have never seen anybody do to this day, and I would hope somebody would do it one day. I'm the only YouTuber that has ever done, like, a DVD update or whatever at the Goonie House.
A DVD update?
Yeah, like, kind of like, I don't know how familiar you are with that. It's like, there's people on YouTube that are, like, part of, like, a movie community where they, like, buy DVDs and they show what they bought and whatever like that, and they call it a DVD update, where they show, this is some of the things that I bought this recently, and here, I'm going to tell you about them and show them to you in case you want to buy them yourself. Well, I did, like, a little DVD update when I went to Astoria, Oregon, to kind of do, like, some type of, like, the best travel movies or something like that, and I did it at the Goonie House when I went and filmed my little 4-hour movie over there.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. I haven't seen anybody take it at that angle, so that's pretty cool.
Or just do something like that at any type of location, or do something totally crazy at a popular movie location site or something like that. I've never seen anything. Most of the time when people do stuff at movie locations, it's just serious, just serious stuff that they're focused on, not to do anything silly or anything.
Yeah, I try to mix it up, a little bit of silly, a little bit of serious, a little bit of jokes, and sometimes even throw some stuff that has nothing to do with the topic at hand, just to keep it interesting, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta do that. So, any future videos that you're working on at all that are movie location related?
Well, yeah, I'm getting ready to go on another road trip. I'm going to leave probably in about a week from when we're doing this interview, a week and a half. So 1st of February, middle of February, I'm going to start heading across the country and go in the Midwest, probably go over to California and do a bunch of stuff. So I got some stuff up my sleeve. So they're not going to stop, just continue on. And California has tons of movie locations that I want to do. Some of them are big movies. Some of them are just really obscure, unknown, kind of cult classics. So those will be the fun ones.
And if you get a hankering, you should do a video from Astoria, Oregon. It's a very nice.
Right.
I tell you what, I've been there twice, and the reason why I went twice was because I went once in 2008 and once in 2012. I went there twice because it's one of those areas that I feel like like anybody, like how you'd have a connection with like E.T. or Daryl or whatever. I felt that way with with the Goonies, more or less. And Astoria, Oregon is one of those towns that still looks like, to this day, like it feels like it's 1984 or 1985, more or less.
Yeah.
Minus the Safeway.
Those are definitely the best spots to hit, is when they look exactly the same.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, man, I can't. And then you'll be out there filming stuff, and people are looking at you like, why are you here? You know, it's like, I mean, maybe with the Goonies house, it's probably a little different story. It's such a huge movie. But sometimes I'll go out to these places and I'll be filming, and people will just be looking at me like, why is this random guy, you know, filming a street post? But that street post is like, you know, I've seen it a million times and like my favorite movie.
Yeah.
So what's important to one person might not be important to someone else.
Well, then you just tell them, you say, hey, I'm Adam the Woo. Check out my channel. Yeah.
Pull up their shotgun and run me off there.
Yeah. It's like, I'll give you a woo.
There have been some cool things that have happened. Like I did Friday the 13th Part 6 filming locations in Covington, Georgia. I put this whole thing together, and then about a month after I put it up on YouTube, the director of the movie actually, you know, saw the video and emailed me.
Oh, wow.
I talked to him for a while. He was pretty impressed with it. So
jeez.
Sometimes it pays off when you know somebody that actually worked on the movie gets really pumped on it and emails you, and that's really kind of the payoff of the whole thing for sure.
And I noticed too, like when you like in a lot of your videos, like after you show like a location where this certain thing happens, then you show the actual clip of it. Is that because you get permission to do that, or are you kind of
not at all?
It's just all copyright stuff or whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. When I first started doing it, I used to have a lot of issues with that.
Yeah.
Like I would spend all this time editing it, and I would put it up, and it would get flagged immediately from YouTube. And then I'd have to sign like a waiver online saying that I wasn't trying to make money off of it. You know, all this mess. And I noticed if you make the clips really short, and a lot of times if you like mess with the audio, remove the audio, it doesn't really trigger anything. I think they let it slide. But I haven't really had an issue with that in like a year or two. So I think maybe they've lightened up the whole copyright thing. I don't know.
Maybe they're familiar with your work now. Maybe they understand what you're trying to do.
It could be. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, because I know you like a lot of the movies or a lot of the videos that I've done. You know, if it's about a certain point, then it's not really. I wouldn't really say it'd be like stealing or copyright stuff, because unless you just do it to be stupid, you know. But if there's like a point of why you're doing this and why you're showing this clip or whatever about the subject that you're doing, then it should be fine. That's why, like in my interviews, all these pictures that I put up from the people that I talk to, I don't own all that stuff. These are pictures that I found out from Google, you know.
Right.
But it's like it's my way of kind of telling their story by using pictures that aren't copyright written or whatever to describe the interview that I'm doing or who I'm interviewing. So
I think maybe now as time goes on, I think maybe YouTube and YouTube's owned by Google, so maybe they're starting to realize that people are actually fans of things.
Yeah.
And not everybody's trying to make a buck. And maybe that's the fact. Maybe they realize, hey, this is just it's just an extra thing for fans of the movie to watch.
Yeah, I would say. Do you ever get?
I've noticed with some movie like studios have a real problem. Universal used to be real finicky with movie locations, but now they're kind of lightened up on it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny too, because you figure that like if a lot of people are watching your stuff, that this would open like a career for you. Like someone would say, well, you like to say one of your favorite film directors saying in your video about a movie that they did. I'm not surprised that they wouldn't offer you like a job or something, where you could, I don't know, just do like something like on the History Channel or something like that.
Right. Yeah, you never know what comes about with stuff like that. I've never really looked at it that way. I kind of do my own thing. I think the beauty of the internet is you can just do what you want to do, and if people latch onto it, you can just kind of go with it.
So you
have your own creative control, and if you do it yourself, you have your own creative control. When somebody takes over, you never know how they're going to manipulate it or chop it up or edit it.
So
you've seen every reality show that's out there. You can tell it's scripted and cut up.
So if the History Channel called you today and said, Adam, we like what you're doing, we want to offer you a big contract, and we want you to do like a film location type of series, you wouldn't do it on the television?
It would be tough. Yeah, I would have to give it some thought. I don't know if the History Channel would be too keen on the humor I throw into stuff, which I think the humor kind of keeps it fresh and keeps me excited on doing it. I wouldn't want to turn it into a job.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I guess maybe if the offer was right or, what they were saying kind of was on the same lines of what I wanted to do, then maybe.
Sure. I think it'd be.
But see,
I think it'd be pretty interesting.
I've kind of thought about that before too, and it's like, let's say you started doing a show, and the show only lasted one season, and then it dies, and then the idea dies. And people are kind of like, oh, I've seen this before. Where it doesn't, like on YouTube, it just kind of it's able to continue to grow, and people grow with it. But with TV, it's like, it's all at once, and then when it's over, it's just done and over. And so I don't know. There's advantages and disadvantages to it, I think.
So the last question I have for you for this interview is what's your, like, a lot of people when they make videos and stuff, they have like a goal. They have a kind of a, they have a mark where they're trying to prove a point or something like that, where they're trying to tell a story or whatever of their lives or whatever. But like with your videos that you make when you do movie location videos, what's your point? Like, what point are you trying to make with your stuff?
I'm just trying to bring back memories for people. Like, I do the movie locations, but I also do abandoned stuff, and I do roadside attractions and things like that. Basically, the whole idea of my channel are just memories. So it's not necessarily, hey, I do movie locations, hey, I do abandoned stuff, hey, this guy goes on weird roadside adventures. It's basically all about memories, either creating memories or memories from the past. And I think that's why people kind of latched onto it, because I try to incorporate, something that someone out there has a memory of in the videos, and that's pretty much why I keep doing it. Just stir up memories and make new memories.
And you do a pretty good job doing that. I gotta say, man, I wish for more success for you, because I hope that you get to do a lot more cool videos like that, because there's a lot of films that were made in the 80s and 90s that people probably don't even remember,
Right. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, well, thanks for chatting with us, and hope you have a great rest of the day.
All right, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye. And that was Adam the Woo, right here on the Frankie Slawson Show, my 29th guest. I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. He is like what he says he is. He makes videos, and as well as doing other things that he does in his personal life as well. But that's kind of why I wanted to talk to him more or less, because I was so interested in the stuff that he does. And you can check out his website at adamthewoo.com, and I'll put the link obviously in the description. And we'll just kind of go from there. And I hope you enjoyed this, and you guys have a good rest of the night. And I'm Frankie Slawson, and we'll see you again for another great Frankie Slawson Show video or interview.